after the parade float has left, leaving only litter behind, can you please give us your exclusive New York Knicks thoughts as someone who just experienced the best Knicks season in 25 years, raising the expectations to a place where, of course, New York fans, and we knew this was going to end this way, if the Knicks season was going to end, it wasn't going to end with Brunson being blamed for anything. If the Knicks season was going to end and it was going to be a product of failing to meet expectations, the place where you're going to put the most expectations is on the big guy that is bigger than everyone else and has one block in the entire series. And now you read all the reports. Surely, Amin, you've read these reports as well, that all of the Knicks were frustrated all season about Karl-Anthony Towns doesn't know how to play defense, doesn't know when to do what, doesn't know his assignments, and all of that unraveled toward the end of the season when the wheels fell off because all of the Knicks were exhausted because they were only playing 6 players.
So it was incredible reporting by Fred Katz and by James Edwards III for The Athletic. A lot of people were like, oh, so they just had this ready to go? I said, yes, this is how journalism works. We have the autopsy written as soon as a team is entering elimination phase. You got to have it ready to go because that's the number one time people want to read about what went wrong that season. And so in it, they're talking about a lot of things. It's not just about Towns. It covers almost everything. Everyone's got a little blame in there. Probably Brunson's the only one who goes off unscathed. But with regards to Towns, it's that attention to detail. Now, you got to remember, they're coming from a year ago. They were exact opposite. They were scrappy offensively, but defensively they were elite. This year, they were an elite offensive team, but the defense kind of waned. And you remember on the show, I was telling you guys, I'm not confident in this defense. It's good enough for the 82-game season where nobody cares and we're Milwaukee tonight, tomorrow we're in Cleveland, the night after that Chicago. But when you get to the playoffs and people are game planning and they're attacking weaknesses, there were just too many. And one of them was Karl-Anthony Towns, his either non-desire or non-ability to execute defensive schematics, right? And that's exactly what we saw Indiana attack. If you think about Game 6, that run in the fourth quarter where they started blowing wide open, what was it? It was Tyrese Halliburton, high pick and roll, Cat is sagging in the paint, and Tyrese's like, okay, I'm just going to go and hit this floater that I'm excellent at. And he did it again and again and again.
Those floaters, though, God almighty, they're just killers.
Backbreakers.
Those floaters. He hit 3 straight floaters, and each of them was like, that's got to bounce off the rim. Like, that shouldn't go in clean.
It's a terrible job by those players for holding on to that Karl-Anthony Towns was not willing to play defense, that he's soft until after the Knicks loss. Say it while the season's going on.
I think they may have actually said it to the reporters, and the reporters just held it.
Well, then a terrible job by those reporters. I mean, what are we doing?
Well, but Amin's telling you that it's standard operating procedure, that everyone's got their autopsy for the things that went wrong when you start blaming people.
Allow me to be the one to criticize Jalen Brunson, okay? Because he's our best player. He's the guy. He's the reason. Because Dallas didn't think he was very good. The Knicks thought he was going to be good. Not this good, but he's turned out to be great. He got them to the Eastern Conference semifinals a year ago, Eastern Conference finals this year. We also, conveniently forget that Jason Tatum got hurt in the series against the Knicks for Boston. But Jalen Brunson is the leader of that team. He is the leader. Jalen Brunson, how about you work on your defense? Because when they see the leader, because he's a defensive liability for that team, when the rest of the team sees the guy who's the leader, who's never going to be criticized, working hard to improve his defensive game, the rest of them will fall in line. This is on Jalen Brunson. You can blame Karl-Anthony Towns all you want. Jalen Brunson is their best player. If he wins, he gets all the credit. And when they lose, he deserves at least a portion of the blame.
Let me ask you this, Amin, because I remember the most common criticism of Shaquille O'Neal was some form of work on your free throws. And all I would see Shaquille O'Neal doing was working on his free throws. It's not that he didn't care about his free throws, it's that he wasn't good at it. When Stugotz demands Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson be better at defense, I don't think they can be. I don't think they know how to be. I don't think that they have the footwork and speed and quickness and size, both of them, to be what they have to be on defense. I think they're limited there, and no amount of will make them better at defense. Do I have it wrong?
So, first of all, for Shaq, you're absolutely right. Obviously I was with him for a year and a half in Phoenix, and he shot something like 80 to 85% in the practice court. And it's not just that he made them. His form looked different. So his whatever anxiety he felt at the free throw line was so crippling that it changed his form. It made him look like he was just kind of shot putting it. When he's on the practice court, he's shooting jump shots. He's pulling up off the dribble. He's mimicking other players. It was pretty intense to watch, to see someone go from so confident to just something completely different in game scenario. But to answer your question, I disagree. I do think so. For Brunson, there is a physical element. He's small, so there's only so much he can do. He was one of the league leaders, I believe, in charges taken, so that's good. He's good in that sense. But I think like he can do more if he's doing less offensively, because that's the other part of it. It's like he has to carry so much of the offensive burden. Well, all we did was praise how great he was in fourth quarters and clutch time. That energy comes from somewhere, and he's borrowing from a defense reservoir probably, right? As far as Towns goes, I don't see anything physically preventing him from being a good defensive player. It's literally just mental focus, right? What we're talking about is, like, for instance, those Halliburton floaters. You know what he wants to do. Right. You got to go up and greet him up there. You got to meet him at the screen level, and you can't sag. You can't play that drop coverage. You know this. You know what the defensive game plan is. This is just a guy who either is forgetful or doesn't care, one of the two.
Man,
I forgot to play defense.
I have a hard time.
It's hard to say he doesn't care.
I have a hard time believing that the problems with Karl-Anthony Towns aren't matchup problems when they bring to him matchups meant to exploit the fact that he's very big and he is graceful enough offensively for that size, but can be slow-footed on defense and is only good on defense when he's got a Gobert next to him or a Mitchell Robinson, because, it's crazy to say that someone that size had one block in the Indiana series and had one block the last time that they were in the Western Conference Finals.
At the core, he's a loser.
Dan, I'm going to tell you what it is, right? Tom Thibodeau, his staff, they're under no illusions of what he is capable of doing and not capable of doing. So they design the defensive schemes to take that into account. It's not like, hey, you got to switch on to Halliburton and guard him like you're Evan Mobley. They know he's not that. They know he can't do that. But they do have schemes that they want to do. Now, this is what coaches always say. We're going to draw up the scheme. You do it this way. If it does not work, that's our bad. If you execute the way we told you to do it and we still get beat, we're still getting scored on, that's our bad, right? We got to go back to the drawing board and figure out something else. But if you never do the scheme that we told you to do, how can we ever know? And it sounds like from the reporting he wasn't doing the schemes.
Okay, but let's do it this way, okay? Because you can make the arguments that this is a person that is mentally deficient on defense. They will have more information than us on that. I can say resolutely and flatly, can I not? Karl-Anthony Towns is not a good rim protector. Yes or no? You agree with that or you disagree? Karl-Anthony Towns is not a rim protector.
I agree.
He wasn't this season, no.
Yes or no? He's a good rim protector. Yes or no?
Not this season, no.